I somehow missed this playtest being announced on the Roguelike Reddit, but whatever. The DeAnima playtest. So, DeAnima is apparently going to be a traditional roguelike, but with a little twist to it. As opposed to regular top-down sort of things, it basically works in a more first-person shooter type of aesthetic. And essentially, people have described it as being first-person player with superhot mechanics. So we'll assume it's basically sort of that sort of setup. Basically, as you act, the enemies will act. So simultaneous movement basically, and when you stop it, they stop. So fairly close to a roguelike, but not quite. Anyhow, this is a playtest basically running right now for this game, and it's going to basically conclude on September 10th. But for now, it's September 3rd, so we'll give it a shot, show it off. I'll let the developers see it, and unless before I publish it, I guess. And we'll just go from there. So by Steelgate Studio. Cool. Got it. And it's suspicious again, because why not? Hopefully it doesn't kick me back out, but we'll see. Eventually I might get to play. But it really thinks this is suspicious for some reason. DeAnima. What you thinking here? I assume the game is fine, by the way, but that might be something to look into just to make sure if you're just not gonna get fed up with it as it starts up. Okay, so we have stats here. So you got deaths, rolls unlocked, all this sort of stuff. We have a codex. So basically it's about the weapons and stuff you basically find, so you basically cover information about it. We got settings. Very nice, they work. Let's just put it like that for now. So you get system, game speed is default, fast, faster. Show FPS on HUD. Sure, we'll go yes, we'll see how it looks. Begin with tutorial. We have our controls, so it's WASD basically move around, shift to for fast mobility mode. Inventory is apparently space. You got million range for the mouse. Quick turn for Q, T with throw, E with examine, R to rest. So standard traditional roguelike stuff. And there's a display here as well, by the way, but whatever. So, how to play. Your goal. Plunge into the Dungeon of Dread. Seize the crown hidden on floor 10 and fight your way back to freedom. Tips. You can press question mark during play for an overlay of all in-game commands. If you're struggling, remember, stillness grants safety, offering time to ponder and escape a solution. Because superhot mechanics. When you see notations such as 1d8, it means one roll of 8-sided dice. AC or armor class is a measure of how hard it is to hit a monster in combat. Weapons with +1, -1 add a +1 bonus to hit and -1 bonus to damage. Armor with +1 gives +1 defense, lowering the chance the monster hits. Alright, so fairly straightforward. Oops, I think I hit the first one, where reach the third floor to earn your place in the Hall of Flame. Okay, so you have to get the floor 3 to get to the Hall of Flame. Let's begin. Alright, tutorial. We have 50 of 100 HP, our strength is 16 of 16, armor is 13, gold is 0, guild is novice. I'll note that the mouse controls are, interesting. I might just turn this down just a little bit. Probably helps if I turn on my mouse sensitivity too. So it's like my lowest natural mouse sensitivity, but whatever. It might be a little bit overly sensitive, the game, the mouse settings. You can see how slow my mouse is right now because I slowed it down so much. Let's just do this a little bit. Alright, that's kind of working for me. So we got ourselves, something here. Okay, what am I supposed to do in the tutorial here? Go here maybe? Alright, movement. Move using WAS, look around using the mouse. Each movement costs 1 turn, but looking around is free. Hold a movement key to travel a short distance before spending a turn. Stopping early or inching forward, use the turn immediately. Interesting. So yeah, there's turns in this game. So if I just go like this, I'm actually going to be using a turn immediately. So you want to hold down in order to run and get a lot of movement going, I guess. Examine for traps. Press E to examine the room for traps. Examine may reveal hidden doors and other secrets. Success isn't guaranteed, so examine multiple times if needed. If nothing appears, move to a new spot and try again. Each time you examine, you use up a turn. Engage and explore. When the reticle turns yellow, press left mouse to interact with objects. When the reticle turns red, press left mouse to perform a melee attack. Each attack or interaction uses up a turn. Oh, so that's a toggle, okay. Interesting. Okay, what was that? Something's different. You examine for traps but no luck. You examine for traps but nothing happens. The enemy down there maybe? No, it's a skeleton, I think. Fast play. Press shift to enable fast play. Unlike sprinting, this doesn't just boost your movement. It accelerates every action from attacks to enemy responses. Use it to blaze through familiar paths or tense battles, but beware, swiftness sharpens both your blade and your enemies. Proceed with caution as the world moves faster with you. So it's not a sprint button, it's basically just a turbo button. Cool, you can turn on and off torches. Spider Slayer. Defeat monsters to earn XP and level up, boosting your max HP with each rank. Some enemies like Spirehead are passive and won't attack unless you strike first. Take your turn to attack the Spire, then brace for its counterattack on its turn. Very nice looking sprite. Okay, we kill the spider. I got a spider corpse, so you got corpse mechanics. Identify this item to find out more about it. So you can find if it's the corpse's curse or something. Interesting. Alright, I guess we'll go here. Health regeneration. Your health slowly regenerates as you move through the dungeon's perilous halls. When low on health, seek out a safe spot with no enemies lurking nearby. When it's safe to do so, press R to rest. Resting restores health faster at the cost of a turn. So you rest a while, gain some HP back. I personally like it, by the way, if you have your standard press something like the R to basically just rest until healed type idea. I mean, that's a 20-year-old feature that should be here, I think, but whatever. That's enough resting for now. very dark hallways. Goblin Slayer. In the next room, you'll face an angry goblin. When you enter, repeatedly rest, allowing the goblin to approach. So basically, ours just skip turn 2. Repeat until the reticle turns red, indicating the goblin is close enough. Use only attacks to strike at this point. Good luck. You can press question mark anytime during play to view all controls. Alright, so there's like the game menu. You got tab for codex. That's basically helping you find like your help and stuff like that. Q is quick turn, T is throw, E examine, R rest. P pray. So you got toggle HUD, toggle map with H and M. I assume like there's like the HUD down here. Whoops, turn off the shift. Don't want that on. See, this is a room right here. I'm not saying that rest doesn't necessarily heal like a full point, so you have to hit multiple times in order to like, rest up to full. So yeah, basically I can move and he'll like move and stuff like that, so rest. I kind of feel about it, there should be like a charging attack type of thing, but whatever. That's done. Am I missing something, by the way? I want to like how close to the wall you have to be to sort of like find stuff too. That could be a thing as well. Like, do I have to be right next to it, or can it be like a couple tiles away in order to see stuff? Equipping gear. Collect the gear for the chest ahead. Press space to open your inventory and equip the gear. Opening a chest or equipping gear costs 1 turn. So, very like, old-fashioned mechanics, but that's fine. Okay, so you don't automatically pick up stuff. You actually have to, like, open the chest and pick it up. I almost feel like, that's like a little bit redundant, but, whatever. This pitiful blade, barely more than a shard of metal, still cuts better than a bare fist, dealing 1d6 damage with grim disparate efficiency in the dark. And what it means is basically better stealth kills and stuff like that. This simple armor, with its interlinked rings, provides a modest AC of 6, offering basic protection while allowing for mobility in combat. And the Archer Wand. This elegant wand releases a bolt force akin to a crossbow, striking foes for 1d6 damage. Its simplicity belies its utility, offering range precision in heated battle. Okay, so now I got a wand and a dagger basically equipped, so you can basically equip them both. Range precision. The next room is overrun by lurkers, which can poison you if you get too close. Use your Archer Wand to defeat them from a safe distance. Press the right mouse button to fire a single bolt from the Archer Wand. Each use of the Archer Wand costs 1 turn. And I assume it's got like finite costs as well to use it over and over again. I noticed that they're basically like very Diablo, not Diablo, but Doomish, and that they basically always face you. It sounds like I'm using like, a bow, but it's a wand. Whoop. So they can't move if you're not careful. Now I have to wonder about the traps, by the way, because is it going to be like sort of like those like very old school type of games where just traps just randomly around that you have to basically search for? I can see that being very very annoying. Like, you know, if there's some like indication you can basically sort of search for like where traps are going to be, that'd be, you know, okay. But I'm not really a big fan of like, you know, randomly like, you know, hidden traps and stuff. There's a wand of death. Monster Slayer. The next room contains multiple high-level monsters. Use the wand in this chest to defeat them from a safe distance. Open your inventory and equip the wand. Wands have limited charges, and you only have just enough. Be careful. Each use of the wand costs 1 turn. So Wand of Death. This ominous wand crackles with lethal power, unleashing a death ray that obliterates most foes in an instant. Its dark pulse brings swift, merciless end to the living. I wonder if that means it's going to harm the undead, if you run into undead like critters at some point. Hobgoblin, werewolf, and something else. That's a troll, apparently. That's a satyr. And a revenant. Alright, well, they're all dead. Yes, I can pick them up, but, you know, why? I'm noticing, by the way, there doesn't seem to be any weights to these things, by the way, as well. I'm just able to pick them up because why not? And of course that hurts me, by the way. I mean, I'm not basically probably supposed to do this, but why not? I just feel like it. Now I noticed, by the way, I could see that chest like with the death wand from like the wall through it. So I'm wondering if you can, like, you know, clear one if you see a chest basically through walls and some stuff like that sometimes. Good luck. My lessons end here. The rest you'll learn through blood and trial. In the next room, an elevator awaits you to start your descent into the Dungeon of Dread. One last thing, friend. It'll do you well to remember that not all the snarls in the shadows hunger for your flesh. Some beasts bear wares, not war. Basic immersions. Okay, there's the elevator. Before we go, let's see if there's anything down the other path over here. Prayer for salvation. When you're at death's door, press P to offer a desperate prayer. This sacred act will restore your health, grant you a chance to endure. Use this power sparingly, however, for its grace is not guaranteed. Alright, well, I think we're basically good to go. Let's go explore the Dungeon of Dread or Doom or whatever it is. Alright, we're starting in a room with a monster. Hello, Kevin, it says. I'm Kevin, apparently. So here's my journal. Narwhan is Archer Wand, apparently, so you know what an Archer Wand basically is. Here's our map. So there's the player. You can see which one face with the, you know, thing right there. Monsters right there. Friend, Thrall, Reaper. Reaper makes me think there's possibly, like, you know, a Hunger Clock type of mechanic where, like, the, you know, the Reaper chases you and stuff like that. We'll see. Elevator, door, chest, item, trap, crystal, tome, reversion plinth, divine conduit, and gravestone. So, Atheist, you deny the divine, shine the gods and their influence, bare knuckle, you scorn weapons, embracing the raw might of your bare fist. Carnivore, you crave only flesh, devouring corpses while scorning all else. Dignified, guided by stern resolve, you forsake cursed items, maintain your dignity in a darkened realm. Exposed, you spurn armor, embracing vulnerability in defiance of protection. Faithless. You forsake all divinity, rejecting both the gods and your blessed relics. Honorable. You uphold honor, sparing friendly allies despite the lure of their demise. In the dark. You revel in mystery, shining knowledge of items to embrace the unknown. There's a Joctor as well. Miser. You hoard every coin, scoring the temptation to spend even a single piece. So there's Pacifist. Righteous. You uphold virtue, scoring theft in favor of righteous integrity. Skeptic. You distrust the foresight of the white flame and the mysterious power of a floating crystal, showing their mysterious guidance. Unchanged, you renounce polymorphism, deeming its transformative cruelty beneath you. Warden, you believe monsters belong in chains, upholding their captivity unyieldingly. So you got like, our name, a role, rank, where the crown navigate basically is, or like, stats. So kills, this is what I basically killed in the tutorial so far. Hello Kevin, welcome to Dungeon of Dread. And options. I was going to see if I can basically, change that. I guess not. I got a hammer, by the way, and a ring mail, so we actually have a different weapon right now. 2 pieces of food. These ruby-hued fragments, bursting with tart vitality, banish the clawing hunger within, fully sating you with each meager bite. This sturdy weapon, with its solid heft, smashes into foes for 2d4 damage, offering a reliable and satisfying impact in the shadowy confines of the dungeon. Okay. Is that a face? So we killed a crawler. That's added to the codex. So here's the crawler. It's floor 1 to 4, experience 1, AC 7. HP is 1 to D8, so we basically have randomized HP. Damage can be randomized as well. Can replicate. So we basically, transfer into other monsters maybe. You found a tome, 1 of 9. Luzeri, what does this do for me? No idea. Okay, so doors right here and right there. Is that the way down? Is that a lurker? That's a Boris apparently. Floor 1 to 6, experience 1, AC 7, HP is 1d8, damage is 1d2. Oh, I noticed I only have like 12 HP as opposed to 100 from before, so it is very limited in like your HP. And one of those guys there. Here we go. I just want to track one at a time. I missed, I think. I got some gold pieces from that apparently. Oops, this guy's attacked me. I don't know why this guy didn't move, but okay. As you stir the Berserker's fiery embers, a low hum resonates, forming a whisper of word, which translates to Laret. What the heck is that? Let there be light. Light this sacred brazier and drive back the encroaching darkness. Okay. My HP is returning, by the way. Now I have to wonder like how food basically works in this game. I obviously have 2 pieces of food here. I can also eat corpses. How is food like displayed basically, I wonder? This seems like a dead end. I'll note by the way for searching, I don't really like the idea of like, you know, searching like endless amounts of times in order to like find something. I prefer like, you know, if like you search like, you know, 1 or 2 times you actually find something, it's not like, you know, or like it gives you like a hint, you know something's here, but you can't find it, so to speak. You score an excellent hit on the crawler and it dies. But I always want to show off something in the map. So that's like the elevator showing right there, so you actually see the elevator. I do like the fact that you actually have that done appropriately. There goes the Boris. That was a Skolix apparently. Can regain health, so he can either like, you know, regenerate, or he basically like just, you know, has a vampiric attack. That's what it tells me there. Ow. Down it goes. Apprentice, welcome to rank 2. So I got some HP from that, maybe got some other stuff, who knows. Yeah, let's go this way. I thought spiders were supposed to be like, you know, neutral or something like that. Well, whatever. 4, 1 is 7, experience 1, damage 1d2. Down it goes. So yeah, this is definitely a roguelike, by the way. Attrition wanted that. It's a little bit different in like, you know, how it's basically like, you know, working, but definitely has all the trappings of one. Are you the merchant? I am Feyora. I can identify 4 items for you. Okay, so this is you know, identifying person for me. Feyora, a seer steeped in arcane lore, can unveil the secrets of our items with her piercing gaze. Who's over here? You're a troll. I don't want the troll to get out, I don't think, because he's probably strong. A yellow scroll. Interesting. Let's go off this. Down it goes. Nothing here. I'm tempted to see if I can bust a troll out, but maybe I don't want to do that. A weathered ring. Well, we have the option of like identifying it, I guess, so maybe we'll do that. The FPS is pretty good, by the way. And apparently this is free too. So, we got the Ring of Flame Wake added to the codex here. Kind of a faint eerie glow, ignite braziers as you pass to banish the dungeon's oppressive gloom. Put that on. Is that my hurry up clock? There's a black potion. I'm not really a big fan of, like, you know, hurry up clocks, or at least unexplained ones. Like, I'm not like against having, like, you know, there's like counters of Zixian would basically have, like, you know, hurry up events, so to speak, to push you forward. This is cursed, by the way. So first, quenching. This unremarkable potion quenches the drinker's thirst with a fleeting taste of clear water, offering brief refreshment, but no true power to aid during food treacherous deaths. And apparently it's cursed too, so I probably don't want to drink it. Suddenly, a chili creeps in your soul. Death balls. Dally overlong on the floor, and a death bell's morning chime echoes, stirring the shadowed hunter. Flee when a toll resounds. So there's the Reaper coming for me, I guess. I guess unlike the other guys, this guy actually keeps moving regardless of where I want to, you know, to not move or not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like having a, you know, what you call it. I'm not a big fan of like hunger clocks, by the way, just for a simple fact that, like, you know, if it's a turn-based game like this, and like you have a real-time one as well, so it's not something I'm actually like very fond of, just to throw it out there. Like, if there's like a game of Barony, they basically have like a hunger clock. I turn it off almost immediately, like most of the time, because it's just not fun to have around. So, at a crystal, you gaze into a crystal where shimmering visions unveil cryptic figures, awaiting a death below, their faces flickering in veiled prophecy. You found a tome, 2 of 9, Grey Hoe. Who are you? Stranger, I care not for your tales. Show me the item. I'll bind its power in exchange for 200 gold pieces. So we got Valak here. Valak the Arcane for Forge Master, whose smoldering ruins and whisper chants in future weapons and armor with otherworldly might, bending steel the sorcerer's will. I might find something better, by the way, so I'm just going to avoid that for now. Okay, that hurt a lot, but I mean, I did feel my hunger there, so, you know, we got rid of the hunger there. I like how the HP like changes color, but obviously it gets more injured, so nice touch. Hello, spider. Goodbye, spider. There's also a thing, by the way, where, like, you know, if I'm trying to basically find like the exit and I get to basically find it and I get the hunger clock, that's kind of annoying. So definitely not a fan of, like, you know, the hunger clock mechanic you basically have going right now. You can die. we're a Juryman, rank 3. There's a Tangerine Potion. Let's keep going on the outside here. Now I wonder about the Hunger Clock by way of, like, you know, it's just something that, like, you know, we can expect is going to, like, you know, is the Hunger Clock basically going to be one of those things where it's basically time dependent, or it's basically turn-based dependent? Like how many turns like you pass any like triggers? We got plate mail, rare. This is probably dangerous, but I'm going to put it on anyway. So, plate mail. The pinnacle of protection with an AC of 13 encloses the wearer in steel, making it the ultimate defense against the dark. A fortress metal against the perils of the dungeon. Equip. And I have no idea if it's basically like, you know, cursed or not, but I don't really care. That's the elevator down. There goes the Boris. Very dark room. I'm not against having dark rooms, by the way, but I'll note basically if you take a, like, you know, some inspiration. Castle of the Winds was an old, like, you know, traditional relic, and in it they had like a light spell. But at least we found the exit if we need it. You activate a paralyzed trap and you can't move. Again, I'm not a big fan of, like, you know, hidden traps like, say, that. Like, it's not a bad thing to have traps, but it's one of those things where, like, you know, I prefer it a little bit more, like, you know, predictable. Down it goes. I'm playing a dangerous game here, but I want to try and get up to this guy to enchant my stuff. It's basically the plate mail. Now that I have it. Done. The magic bound. Leave before I regret helping you. So now I basically made a +1 plate mail. Very nice. What is this? Altar of Sacrifice. The altar of sacrifice smolders with shroud flames, whispering of inner turmoil and spectral burns. Offer an item to his cryptic PR, and it may return touched by Edwin grace. So, we'll offer a ring mail maybe, see what it does. Okay, so you basically use it to sort of buff up stuff. Maybe. Or maybe it'll be displeased and not do that. That could be a thing as well. By the way, I'll note with like the bell like thing that you had there, an idea for like making it a little bit like more pleasant is the fact that you might give a warning like in your like your codes pop up like the bells chime. Death like nears, you should probably flee this level. Just like give it a warning, you should do that right away. Like now I know I have to flee here, right? So let's start fleeing. Now I'm actually just going to wait here for a little bit just to see like, if that Revenant basically like automatically spawns or if it's like, turn-based or not or whatever. I mean, it's possible you can make like, it time-based and that's like, something it could do for your game, but I'm not really sure what to say about like your hunger clock type of idea. It's not a bad idea like having that sort of thing, but I mean, here's the thing, because it's basically in real time, it moves. If it's basically like sort of like triggered by turn-based mechanics, then I mean I can basically sort of delay by basically having like chance of basically like coming on like his go. It might actually make sense just to have it be like, have like a countdown clock that basically like goes along and like, as basically nears and hits 0, it basically spawns and comes after you. Let's just get going before it chases me. The rift is open, very nice. The rift. Do you want to activate the rift and return to main menu? Entering the rift allows you to save your game and resume later, but beware. When you return, the world may feel slightly altered, as if unseen forces have stirred in shadows. Okay, yes. So deepest floor is free. Reach the third floor to earn your place in the Hall of Flame. I guess we're not on the third floor. Yes, we're on the third floor. Okay. The rift is closed. So basically, if you want to, you can go back and come back if you want to like save a level. Okay, you're dead. Not really finding any secret doors. They might be around, but I'm not really like finding them apparently. Down it goes. Are some enemies like passive until like you come upon them or something? And that's why they're not attacking me? What's over here? That's our high-level monster, I guess. I polymorph into a Boris. Monster walk add to codex. What does that mean? Wrap its hide around your bones. Let it breathe, fill your lungs. Only then will you know why it's screened. Okay, so I guess I polymorph myself. I guess he's basically going to get lost as you keep going around, by the way, so... I'm honorable, I'm dignified. I'm righteous, apparently. Yeah, I'm a carnivore, apparently, but whatever. Yeah, I'm no longer unchanged because, honestly, basically, like, you know... I got HP of 8, apparently. I noticed by the way I'm able to see a little bit better, so maybe, like, the creatures basically have, like, you know, some vision. I killed the boar, so I get some experience for it. How long does this, like, you know, last, by the way? I trip and fall over, apparently. You can't move through enemies, I guess. I am being making the blade that severs the eye from the flesh. All races, all masks, yours, they're dissolved in my shadows. Wear a beast's skin, bring it to me, and I'll snuff its kind from the tapestry, returning you cleansed. Do you wish to doom all your kind? Yes. Okay, so that basically, like, you know, turned me back and I doomed the, you know, the Boris race, apparently. So, Erizil. Erizil, a death-obsessed recluse, bears a grim gift. With a single touch, she can bestow the doom of mortality upon your kin. Okay, so I just killed all the Boris as a result of that, I guess. I'm tempted to see if this basically dooms myself and just ends the run, because we've been going for a little bit here, so... yeah, I feel this is pretty good to end it. So yeah, basically, like, you know, do that to sort of kill yourself, so... alright, there we go. Made it to the Hall of Fame. That's where I died, how I died, stuff like that. Alright, so there's DeAnima. Not a bad game, not really something I'm, like, you know, too fun for, like, the you know, the ghost mechanic, we'll say, or, like, you know, the hurry up mechanic, but whatever. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the game, and take care.